Hey YouTube, Kier Twig here, bringing you guys my Toon deck profile for September 2015. I've been meaning to get this deck out to you guys for a while now, just got around to finishing it, so I thought why not? It's more of a fun deck, but it can, have a lot of potential if you get your plays off right. Very protective of your Toon monsters also, so let's go ahead and get started. I run 3 Toon Mass Sorcerer. He is probably your main source of draw power in the deck. This card, when it attacks your opponent directly and inflicts damage, you draw a card. It can't attack the turn it's summoned, but very protectable with Toon Kingdom. And like I said, needed draw power for the deck can never go wrong. It only has 900 attack, but the fact that you attack directly, solves that problem immediately. If you had to attack a monster, this card would be terrible. But now, draw power needed and granted for your deck. And I also run 2 Toon Gemini Elf. Pretty much the opposite of Mass Sorcerer. When this card inflicts damage to your opponent, you discard 1 random card from your opponent's hand. It cannot attack the turn it's summoned, just like Mass Sorcerer. And when Toon World is destroyed on the field, destroy this card as well. So, like I said, the whole deck you have to play around keeping Toon World or Toon Kingdom. That's what we run in this deck safe, so you can get off your Toon plays. But while you're drawing cards with Mass Sorcerer, you are discarding cards with Gemini Elf. So, awesome card to use as well. And I also run 2 Toon Cyber Dragon. If your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you could special summon this card from your hand, just like regular Cyber Dragon. It cannot attack the turn it's summoned, and while you control Toon World and your opponent controls no monsters, this card can attack directly. So 2100 direct is pretty awesome. Easy to summon out Cyber Dragon effects, so you don't have to take up your normal summon. Overall, awesome card to get out and manipulate. And I also run 1 Toon Dark Magician Girl. I like running this card basically because you cannot be normal summon or set, but you special summon it from your hand by tributing a monster. And while you control Toon World, if Toon World is destroyed, you destroy this card. It can attack your opponent directly. And unless they control a Toon monster, which in case this card cannot target a monster for attacks, this card gains 300 attack for every Dark Magician or Dark Magician of Chaos in your graveyard. The last effect's pretty irrelevant. You don't run any of the other ones in the deck. But I love the fact that, it's not a tribute normal summon, it's a special summon for tributing. So once again, easy to get out and not taking up your normal summon. You want to save your normals for Mass Sorcerer or Gemini Elf. So another heavy hitter that is easy to get out. And I also run 1 Toon Goblin Attack Force, another heavy director, and he has the same goblin effect switching to defense mode, so a good 2300 direct, and then switching to defense. So 1 down flaw, but I like teching 1 in, just, for that sole purpose. And I also run 1 Toon Mermaid. I like Toon Mermaid just because if you control Toon World, you could special summon this card, so it's good for, need to exceed summons or anything like that. And I also run 2 Summoner Monks, just because I run a lot of spells in the deck, so getting out Summoner Monk is, pretty easy and easy to use. Good for exceed summons, like I said. Get out tunes you need for your plays. Overall, great card. And I also run 2 Maxis, just for additional max draw power. I was about to say additional max C, but that makes no sense whatsoever. But yeah, that's it for the monsters. Really low monster count, just because everything is, searchable and protectable, so you don't have to worry too much about having multiple monsters. We'll move on to spells now. I run 3 Toon Table of Contents. Add 1 card from your deck to your hand that includes Toon in its card name, or Manga Ruran. Basically, you can search for any of the monsters, Toon Kingdom, whatever you need for your plays. So Toon Table Contents really helps, set up anything. Never a dead draw. It pretty much makes your plays, like I said, getting you what you need for that situation. And I also run 3 Toon Kingdom. Basically, this card activates by banishing 3 cards from the top of your deck, and this card's name becomes Toon World while in the field zone. Your opponent cannot target Toon monsters you control with card effects. If a Toon monster you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish 1 card from the top of your deck face down for each of those face down monsters instead. Sorry about that. Great card, much better than the original Toon World. Protects your monsters, which is what the deck needed. I have ways of keeping this card protected as well. Basically, if I had Necroface, I would take out the 2 Max Cs for Necroface as well, just because Necroface helps, because this card does end up banishing a lot of cards from your deck, so you want ways to get them back. But other than that, like I said, great protection for your Toon monsters. And I also run 3 Comic Hand. Comic Hand takes your opponent's monsters and counts them as Toon monsters. If you control Toon World, obviously, that's how you get a lot of your spells off. Take control, it's treated as a Toon monster, and your opponent controls no Toon monsters, it can attack your opponent directly. If Toon World's not on the field, destroy this card. So you need Toon World, but you can take a lot of their big monsters, ones you probably can't get around, and just use them for your own, making them Toon monsters, naming them your own new Toon monsters. And I also run 2 Mimic Cat. Mimic Cat helps for taking cards from your opponent's graveyard, whether it be monsters to special summon or spell or traps, and setting them. It's pretty much a Susanoo for Toon monsters, but very easy to use. Obviously, you have to control Toon World to use this card. You could take a lot of your opponent's resources and use them right back at them. And I also run 3 Terraforming. Terraforming, just, you got to get Toon Kingdom. Don't want to waste Toon Table of Contents to get it. Terraforming is another great way to search it out. Run 3, just because you do want to, have best access to get to it. And, any of the dead Terraformings can be Summoner Monk bait. And I also run 3 Magic Reflector. I like Magic Reflector basically because, the counter protects Toon Kingdom, and I like it better than the other barrier card because if your whole field gets blown up, the barrier won't protect your Toon Kingdom. But with Magic Reflector, the counter's on Toon Kingdom, so if the field is blown, Toon Kingdom will still be safe. And I also run 1 Regeki as the last spell. So yeah, big spell count, but like I said, lots of searches, lots of options, so never a true dead draw with all those spells. We'll move on to traps now. I run 2 Toon Briefcase. When your opponent summons a monster while you control a Toon monster, shuffle that monster into the deck. Pretty easy, self-explanatory, get rid of annoying monsters. And I also run 2 Toon Mask. If you control Toon World, target 1 face-up monster on your opponent's side of the field, special summon 1 Toon monster from your hand or deck, whose level is less than or equal to the level and rank of that monster, ignoring summoning conditions. Just grabs needed toons that you haven't been able to search yet, so very good. Glad it doesn't equip onto the monster, it just special summons it, so you don't have to worry about that card being blown up like Comic can. I also run 2 Breakthrough Skill. Just monster effects can be annoying sometimes, so this card helps. And 1 Compulse and 1 Bottomless. So, yep. That's it for the main deck. And as for extra, you're basically just going for Exceed summons, no tuners or anything else. So I run 1 Gaga Cowboy, 1 number 50, 1 number 101, 1 Exciton, 1 Dark Rebellion, 1 number 82, 1 Castell, 1 Utopia, 1 Abyss Dweller, 1 Steel Swarm Roach, 1 Marrowgeist, 1 Diamond Dyer, 1 Maestroke, 1 Photon Pap, and 1 Volcasaurus. I'd probably run also number 66, and if I found mine, I would have thrown it into the deck profile, but most likely would have taken out the Utopia or the Marrowgeist or the Maestroke for that number 66. So yeah, that's it for the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.